room update. Rundown, check temps. No heaters in this room. Just running sponges. Tropical fish. The room is at 66. So the space heater. All the 20s are, this one's it. All the 20s are sitting right at 66, 67. 68 for that 40. 66 for the bottom 40. Got a whole lot of baby cribs in here. It's dark, you can't see them. Cories, baby plecos, rainbows and cories, white clouds, makes sense, and more panda cories. Some baby jaguars, more rainbows and corridors. And Bolivian rams, got a trio. Another jaguar in here. 66 degrees, and I got a pair of golden rams. Not breeding, but living, eating. And they're in here with 4 flatfish and more corridors. Come up over here, let's see. Some baby rainbows growing out. Bristlenose. Got 10 or 12 different bristlenose in here. There's a long fin male. There's a super red female. There's a blue eye leucistic male. They slowed down spawning, but they're still thriving. Lion's eye, Amphilophus lion's eye. There's the male. There's the female. They eat, they swim. 69 degrees. Pleco tank. 69 degrees. Amphilophus labiatus. Male. Wild caught female, thanks to Dan Sharifi. 65 degrees. No heaters in these tanks. Jack Dempsey's. That one's at 69, 70 degrees with the lid on. Pair of Jags. .69 degrees. So as spring arrives and the temperature warms up, we'll be spawning more fish. But even babies, all the way up to large fish, don't have a problem living in a non-heater tank. Doesn't need to be 75, 80 degrees all the time. Just wanted to spit that information out. As long as you have a good biological filtration system in your tank. I run sponge filters. Something I'm dipping with. It's a flower pot full of lava rock and the inner workings of a sponge filter. So that's running this tank. This is just on here for a buffer. You can see that's not near big enough for a 120. And that's not always plugged in. Lots of plants and sponge filters. Biologic filtration is key to everything. Look, Even snapping turtles don't mind that temperature. You slow down spawning, you can get some things to spawn. I did have some cories inside spawn, but the one tank inside I do have a heater in. And it's the tank I got my stir-buys in, so. But the Julies are doing good. Baby plecos. These aren't even Julies, I'd say they're Trileniatus. That one. Maybe closest to the Julie, I don't know. This is a, I'm gonna say Trileniatus. One in the back, Trileniatus. But I got about 13 of them in here and they're swimming and eating just fine. And I have Corydoras pygmaeus in here, which I just disturbed this tank to pull out a couple fry, so I can't see them right now, but they're in here. There's about 6 of them. So you don't need hot water, you don't need to run heaters in all your tanks. This works as a seasonal breeding, keeps breeding kind of at a bare minimum in the winter. If I wanted to breed something, I could always drop a heater in any one of these tanks and entice something to breed. Rainbow fish are going to breed. You throw a mop in, actually, we'll see. Test, see what happens. See if they've done anything in the last week. These mops, I got a mop in this tank and a mop in the other tank. And look at that. Look at them eggs. Kamaka rainbow fish. And this water is 66 degrees and they're spawning. Hardy fish. I'm sure the praycocks are doing the same thing. There's a mop in the back. I'm not going to move it because I got this potted plant up here. Just rotating it. You see every one of my tanks has got something live in it, plus live plants and pots. Crips are doing fine. Look at all these plants are doing great too, 66 degrees. Look at that Amazon sword plant, doing great. Lots of pothos, peace lily. You just gotta play around with anything you want to play around with. Experiment with it. It's fun. This hobby can give you so much. But it all goes back to cycled and biological filtration. Whether you have a sponge, you don't even need a filter. Sometimes, like this room, I'll shut the air pump off. I'm comfortable with the air pump being off for at least 2 days. And the water chemistry won't change just because the amount of plant life that I have that is still helping along. Now some of the bigger cichlids, that's where I would get worried because I don't have plants in these tanks. But with, again, it's quality of water too. Got 120 and it's got 2 fish in it. So it's not overstocked and they're not overfed. Everybody, that's a big fish killer. Overfeeding your fish, you're gonna have problems. Never feed every day. Unless you're breeding fish or raising babies, there's absolutely no reason to feed your fish every day. Especially with the processed fish food that 90% of hobbyists and new keepers will buy.